You call yourself a man? You know you're a lying, low-life, motherfucking gambling degenerate prick. You know that's what you are?
Well, hello, you degenerate fox, and welcome to the Degenerate Gambler. It is Wednesday, the 4th of January. I'm recording a bit early today. I'll probably release this early since I haven't done an episode in a week or so. But yeah, I'm just doing a bit of a recap on Christmas. Uh, I've got two bets for this week, so we're back to picking bets again. And yeah, just sort of a catch up on what happened over Christmas. So I had a pretty good Christmas and a good end of the year, both obviously personally and with the bets. Um, Managed to get, I think, I won 430 something pound. I think I had total profit for the week from around Boxing Day or whatever it was to the, I don't even know. The follow, Boxing Day was a Monday, Monday to Sunday. I think I won like 430 in bets and it was about 250 in profit. Obviously, I did a lot of bets. It was football every day. I was unlucky with a few bets. Stockport being 2-0, done me out of a bet. Um, I had a couple of others that were pretty close. So yeah, I was happy. So I'll get into reviewing those bets. I say I haven't done the percentages of favourites and overs and stuff like that because there's too many games. Take me too long, but I'll be starting to do that again from next week, and I might even incorporate the National League North and National League South because recently I've been doing a lot of betting in that, so it'll be good to have a look at the percentages of favourites that win, draws, outsiders, and also the overs and not over in those leagues. So I usually do Premier League, the National League. I think I'll do the other two. It'll only take me an extra 10, 15 minutes to do the research. So look forward to that next week. So I'll get on to the bets. So Boxing Day started off well. In fact, very well because I got a bet builder up in the Spurs game. It was only £56.30. Listen, it is what it is. Win's a win. And I was very lucky because Kulachevsky got an assist and they gave it, and all the other bookmakers didn't. So I did that in Paddy Power. The only reason I did it in Paddy Power, because I'm not a big fan of their bet builders, is that they were giving a free bet builder the next day. So I was thinking, going to be doing loads of bets, may as well save myself a few quid. So I was lucky I did it there, so got a bit of luck there. That was £56.30. Then on the same day, the main bet touched. Was waiting on Liverpool against Villa. Went 2-0 up. Got the early payout. That was 149.78. And I actually posted that bet the day before because obviously with being Boxing Day and whatever, I wanted, get it out there in case I didn't have time. And it actually was my biggest ever tweet that reached people. I think so. If you look at the impressions, it was somewhere like 58,000 people saw the tweet. I had over 200 likes and 20 something retweets. So I said this at the time after it happened. I really hope that a lot of people got on that bet and took some money off the bookies. That was a tenner on it. They paid 150 basically. So even if you had a fiver on that, it was paying like 75, 80 quid. It was decent return. As I say, everything was up going on to Liverpool, who went 2-0 up, got early payout. So really happy with that. Did gain a lot of followers on the back of that. I went from 2,800 to now I'm sitting somewhere 3,100. So again, appreciate that. And if there's any new listeners because of that, welcome. I say I do the episodes usually come out on a Wednesday or Thursday every week. I give my bets, usually pick my bets Wednesday, Thursday, get them in early. So this is where you'll get them. So if you're new, welcome. So anyway, next bet that I had up was just a Haaland shot and target. That got £20, and I have been stroked on a few of them. I've been done out. The Rangers match card in the first half beat. I had one McCain shot and target was beat. So those boosts, I don't know. You think you're getting free money, but it doesn't always work like that. My phone buzzing. Yeah, it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes I think the bookies know. You know, I don't know. Some people say they pay them off. Who knows? But anyway, so that was £20 from Haaland. Then on the Thursday, I got £76.62 off an accumulator. That was mad, that one too, because I had four early payouts and Sutton were winning 1-0. That was the same night. I did a quad of overs, all big, big prices. and I had three up and Stockport winning 2-0. And there was a point where I was looking at it going, if if I'd have cashed out, there was a point where I would have lifted over £100, which was more than any of the two bets paid. So I was like, if I take this, I'm getting more than I would have got even if one of them touches any one of them. But then I just kept saying to myself, they're so close, they're so close. If I take and then both end up together winning, it would have been like 180 or something that I would have got. So I kept saying to myself, well, what if I get 180? 100, if I get 110 here, 100, I think it was one bet was paying 109 and one was paying 76. And I think it was offering me, if I took both of them, it was like £112 or something. So I was like, all right, I'm getting a few extra pound. But if Stockport score here and then Sutton go on to win or Sutton scoring a second one, that's early payout, that's up. And then I'm only sweating in the other one. I might have a cash out, So I was playing all this over my head. And, as I was doing that, Sutton actually conceded in the 77th minute to go one each. So I'm like, well, that's it. Fuck it. I'll just have to let the two of them run. So the Stockport game finished 2-0. I finished first. And I was actually, I actually said this to someone on Twitter. I was actually in the middle of getting ready to write a tweet out saying, because the night before it had a frustrating night where a bet was very close, saying, if you think last night was frustration, this is fucking real frustration. Two bets right to the wire, both beat by, one bad goal and one bad team who was winning, conceding. And as I was writing the tweet, Sutton scored in the 84th minute to win 2-1. So, you know, can't be too, can't complain that I got one of the two up. I'm not gonna sit here and yap. At the end of the day, it was £76. You know what I mean? Again, bringing my total to nearly 300 at that point. So then moving on to Saturday. So early Saturday, I had the United bet builder, and I didn't fancy much in that game, but I picked the player to get booked and United to win. The player got booked early in the first half, and then I was just sweating on United to eventually get a goal, which they did. And I actually cost myself a pound odds there because I was watching the game, and I think Wolves had a couple of corners. They had that chance they gave, made a good save. So I was just like, you know what, fuck this. Over 150 or 170 or something, I'm just give me the 53 quid. The bet was paying 55. So anyway, that was £53.23 in winnings. Then that night, the bet that day didn't go great, but that night I had a bet builder in the Arsenal game. They paid 59.45. And basically I had a player to score. I was very tempted to do another player to score. And he did. I was going to do Saka because he's put goals in his games recently. And, I mean, he couldn't have went wrong. And for two games there, all four of Arsenal's front four scored. So Odegaard, Martinelli, Saka, and Kedia. So actually, a mate of mine got a bet up. He on the not that Arsenal game, the Arsenal game previous. He had Saka and Odegaard to score and a player to get booked for a tenner at 1,560. So I had that in my head a bit, but do you know what? See, when you do those big bets, I just hate the fact of you could be beat early, and then you're going to have just wasted a bet when I should have been more conservative and just. But anyway, so we say that on that bet on New Year's Eve, I was waiting on a couple of throw-ins and a couple of goal kicks, and it was up relatively early. So again, that's another 59. So I was basically 112 or £113 for that day, which again, I'm not gonna complain about. So in total that week, I bet, which is pretty big, like is I bet £177, huge amount of money. But I won £436. So that was about 250 in profit. Um, so yeah, pretty good. And then just before I move on to this week's bets, I posted my profit loss for the month. December started off with a winner that week, but then I had 2 weeks of nothing. But to be fair, I didn't gamble that much. I maybe did. I think 1 week was 25, and 1 week was 35, which is not a big week for me. Right? Sometimes I'll gamble out on a weekend or on a Saturday. But again, it was still 70 odd pound lost. So coming into that week in December, I would have been slightly ahead or maybe just breaking even. I think about just about breaking even. So if I had a bad sort of week, 10 days, whatever it was at the end of December, um, that would have, yeah, put me on a minus for the month, which I never like to do. But as I say, luckily with the 250, it worked out that for the month I bet £307. and I got 555 in winnings. There's a couple of pence in there as well, but again, it worked out basically 250 in profit. So as I say, going into that last week, I was sort of just breaking even. So, again, 250, I think that put me at over £1,000 odds for the year. We're about halfway through the season. So, if we can keep this going, hopefully we'll be looking at least 2 grand in profit for the year. So that was the review of Christmas. Now let's look ahead to this week's bets. So I'll read the bet out first, and then I'll come back and go over the reasoning. I'll read the prices out as well. So first team, and it's FA Cup this week. So I think I have 2 games in here in the FA Cup, but I stayed away from in the overs because either they're terrible prices or there's not a lot to go on. It's, teams playing each other from a league below, league above. Do teams rest players? All that sort of stuff comes into it. So I didn't pick any for the overs, but I do have a couple here in the FA Cup, or in the wins bet from the FA Cup. So I'll run through them quickly here. So first team is Leyton Orient at home to Doncaster. They're 7-10. That's 1.7 in decimal. Notts County away to Aldershot. They're 4-9, which is 1.44 in decimal. West Brom away to Chesterfield. 3-5. That's 1.6 in decimal. Juventus at home to Udinese. 3-4. That's 1.75 in decimal. Newcastle away to Sheffield Wednesday. 4-9. 1.44 in decimal. Now that only comes to about 9-1. It's actually slightly less. When I did it, I paid £99 for a tenner. So I actually put an extra pound on it. I put it up to 11, which takes it to 109. £11 bet. But look, I do like the bets usually to be 12, 13, 14 to 1. But again, with it being FA Cup, there's a lot less, games to choose from, and then there's a lot of short prices. And so look, again, I've said this before in the past. I would have pushed that. I would have took one of those 4-9s out and replaced it with an evens just to try and get the value. But sometimes doing that, you know, you're making selections that you don't really fancy, and you're doing it just to hit a number over £100 or whatever. This way, I've been able to do it. I've hit over £100, but just by adding an extra pound for my bet. And again, I'm up. I've took money out of the bookies. I've took money out of Bet365 account, other accounts, and I'm still left some money in to play with the bookies' money. So I feel fine doing that. So I'll go back now and give you the reasoning. So looking at the form, Leyton Orient currently top of League Two, playing Doncaster, who are in eighth, so they're decent side, doing all right. Form, they're actually right beside each other. Um, but Leyton Orient have the second best home record in the league, and Doncaster's away record isn't great. They're down in 13th, only got 15 points away from home all season. Looking at recent form, Leyton Orient they drew their last game against Stevenage, who are second in the league, so a tough game, and they won the 4 before that. Doncaster away, it's very patchy. So their last 5 results are loss, win, draw. So again, not consistent away from home. That's my reasoning behind that one. Next in the National League is Notts County. Notts County are top of the league. They are playing Aldershot, who now they're away. Aldershot currently 19th in the table. In the form, Notts County second, 13 points in the last 5. Aldershot only 6 points in the last 5. Uh, Notts County have the best away record in the league, and Aldershot are way down at 20th for home form. Now, when we look at the recent form, so last 5 at home for Aldershot is loss, win, win, loss, win. So decent. They've been decent in the last sort of 5 games. Only lost 2 at home. Notts County draw, win, 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 draw. So they're unbeaten. They have had a few draws in there, but I just think that Notts County top of the league. I'd say they are top of the league, but Wrexham have a game less. They're on 24 games, and Notts County are on 25, and they're only 2 points behind. So technically, Wrexham could be top if they win that game at hand. So Notts County just need to keep winning and churning out results if they want to get promoted. Only one team gets promoted automatically from the National League, so they need to be winning games. Next is an FA Cup game. and it's West Brom away to Chesterfield. Now, this could be a game where you could lose. Obviously, West Brom could rest a lot of players, but they've been in great form in the last few weeks. Now, obviously, I can't check tables and stuff here, but I'll check the last five. So, in Chesterfield's last five, home and away, win, loss, win, loss. West Brom's is win, loss, win. And if I look at Chesterfield's home records, five similar, 4 wins and 1 defeat. And West Brom's away record, 3 wins and 2 defeats. So that one is basically just, I mean, Chesterfield in the National League, West Brom in the Championship. Even if West Brom put out a bit of a weakened team, which I don't even know if they will, but with the squad they have, they should be beating Chesterfield. Next, moving on to Italy, and again, I only ever really look outside of England and Scotland if there's not much, I can, if I can't get my games. So I had four, actually had three, and I started looking about because I was going, I'm going to have to pick two out of, European leagues, and I was very close to picking, I think, Real Madrid, but I picked Juventus, then I went back and had another look at England, and then I went with my last selection, which was Newcastle. But looking at Juventus, now obviously they only start back today. Their games are today. The first game's back, I think, from the World Cup. So currently Juventus are third. They made a poor start this season. Udinese eighth, so decent. They're not a poor team. Form, Udinese top, won 5 games in a row. Sometimes that can be a bit of a hex, but Udinese only 3 points out of the last 15. Away form for Udinese, they're not bad. They're sixth in away form. Juventus are third in home form. When you look at the last five, so Juventus's last five at home is draw, win, defeat. That was against PSG in the Champions League. Udinese's away form, win their last game, which was against one of the lower teams, loss against Napoli, then 3 draws. So even though they have decent away form, it's not been recently. So my thinking is there, Juventus, they do have a game today. I think it's at 5:30 today. I'm recording this at about 3 o'clock on Wednesday. So, sometimes doing that could be a bad idea. Picking them, they maybe get beat. And, their form starts to dip for Saturday. But anyway, I do think that at home, Juventus should beat them. And then lastly, it is Newcastle away to Sheffield Wednesday. Again, a cup game, so there's no leagues to look at. But in form, Sheffield Wednesday are obviously they're up the top of League One. They're a good side. But Newcastle are obviously sitting third in the Premier League. They have drew their last 2 games against Leeds and Arsenal. But they won the 3 before that. Sheffield Wednesday have won 3 in a row, lost or drew the 2 before that. Looking at their home form, they've won 2 in a row. They're actually unbeaten in 5. 2 wins, a draw, 2 wins. Newcastle away is 4 wins and a draw, which was last night against Arsenal. So, again, I'll look at that one and say it's a Premier League team. There's some good players on that Newcastle bench that are getting the game. They stick your man Wood on up front against Sheffield Wednesday. He'll have a field day. He had a few games there when Callum Wilson was injured or ill. I think he was. I think he scored 1, but you're putting him on against the League One side. He'll eat that up for fucking breakfast. And then some of the other players that haven't been getting that many games, Jonjo Shelvey, and there's a load of players there that don't play week in week out for them. So again, just looking at thinking squad should be too big and too good for a League One side, even though they are at the top of League One. So that's the main bet. The overs, as you know how I always pick this, I look at the current form, are they scoring goals, are they conceding goals, the history against each other in the games. I don't tend to look back too far because sometimes teams change. But as I say, I stayed away from FA Cup. And what I've been noticing recently is through doing the stats, the percentages, is League One, which used to be one of the best leagues in Europe for over 2.5 goals, is actually one of the worst now. It's terrible. There's very few teams that are scoring and conceding in that league. You're getting the odd game, but not consistently. Where there used to be teams like your Oxfords and Peterborough and Portsmouth used to be good for goals, and I'm sure there's a few other I'm just not thinking of at the minute. Burton, they used to have games almost every week. It was 2-1 to somebody. That doesn't seem to be happening in League One. And League Two used to be the worst, and it's not too bad. But League One is, if you look at the fixtures last five or the form last five, there's very few teams that have scored 10 goals in 5 games, which is usually what you're looking at. Somewhere close to 10. That means you're scoring 2 a game, and you want them to be conceding around 5 or 6, which is over 1 a game. So anyway, I'll run through these quickly. The 5 games are Scunthorpe Maidenhead 9-10. That's 1.9 decimal. Dorking Oldham 13-20. That's 1.65 in decimal. Darlington Chorley 9-10. That's 1.9. Ardbrook Inverness is 21-20. That's 2.05 in decimal. And Edinburgh Dunfermline 4-5. That's 1.8. So that in total comes to about 20-1. And I have both of those bets placed already. Let's hope the prices don't shoot up like happened a few times on me. And let's also hope that they don't drop as well, because that tends to happen. So that's basically it. What I'm going to do now is just quickly run through next week. Not loads of games. Well, Tuesday night's a good night. So next Tuesday there's a League Two game, 4 National League games, 4 National League North, 3 National League South. There's 2 AFL Cup games. There's 4 AFL Trophy games. There's 4 Northern Ireland Premier League games, and there is 3 Scottish Challenge Cup games. So that's a good night for a bet. Wednesday, not so great. There's 2 AFL Cup games, 10 French Premier League games for French League One. There's a Coppa Italia game. There's a Northern Ireland Premier League game, and there's 1 more Scottish Challenge Cup game. On Thursday, it's basically 2 games. There's a Premier League game. It must be a rearranged game. I think it's Fulham on somebody. And a Coppa Italia, there is 2 games. So that's basically it. So we're back to normal, picking bets, episodes out every Wednesday or Thursday. And again, that's basically it. Just leaves me to say, if you are doing a bet this week, good luck and happy punting.
Here, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, thanks. Let me find out you fucked up. I'll leave you wherever I find you.